Today's topic, infidelity.
Also, in the black community, I don't speak for the black community, but I do think that a lot of black men, they really don't know how to have true, faithful relationships. They think because they have money, because they have power, that they can treat women any kind of way.
Lonnie Love is saying things.
And that is something we need to work on. We need to work on that money and power does not mean that you can just do it every.
Here's something that's really messed up.
What?
I was researching this, and you guys may not even like this part of the conversation.
Oh, wow.
So here's interesting. Rich people cheat more, poorer people cheat less. Okay? Black people predominantly come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting that despite that, we still...
Yeah.
But here's the other thing that's messed up. Okay, so I had read this study a long time ago that said that people with elevated levels of testosterone are more likely to be single, more likely to cheat, more likely to be in non-monogamous relationships.
Okay.
And so that I looked it up, and then college students, black and white, were compared. Black students had 20% more testosterone. So I'm like, oh my God, is this shit biological? And then they did a study. Bruh, it blew my mind. I had a moment.
No,
because people like...
You know what you did there?
Yeah, because it's like...
It's not me. It's biology. Shaggy's gonna go from it wasn't me to it's biology. We did it on the sofa. Biology. We even did it in the bathroom. Biology.
I told y'all, they're not ready.
Biology.
Do you wanna know? It's biology. Keep it in.
No. Cause I can't keep the chemistry anymore. Oh, wow. Remix. Biology. I'm sorry. Keep on going.
It's not your fault, man.
It's biology.
So I creep. Yeah.
I just stole the biology. the remix with Shaggy. Shaggy. Biology. Oh, wow.
Rob, this study messed me up because I was coming into this video like, what am I going to say this stuff? But it is what I found. And they did a cross study with people in Africa,
okay,
and this found the same thing. People with higher levels of testosterone were more likely even in Africa. So it wasn't just a matter of cultural where you are. It was done across. So that became super interesting to me. And then, with testosterone, they're still hypothesizing why those people are more prone.
You gave an excuse to a whole bunch of people.
I know. But let's also not kid ourselves. Our biology is not necessarily an excuse to just automatically do whatever you want willy-nilly. It does influence, it does raise the likelihood, but it doesn't mean it's the only factor that determines what kind of behavior you're going to engage in. And so I'm just laying down all the information of what I found. I didn't want to hide anything from you guys, whether I wanted to or not.
We need to work on that money and power does not mean that you can just do whatever you want to do.
I think sadly in so many cultures that is the whole machismo thing, like that goes across the board. But I'm gonna say
it's not across the board because what is happening is, and because our families were broken up, we still do not have an idea of how to have together families because our families were broken up.
Yes,
and until we really
from that perspective, I absolutely get it.
She's basing herself on what she lived. So sorry for me to go against what she lived. I'm not saying that that's the case, but that's what she lived. And that's one thing. Now, what you lived is not necessarily an indication of what the reality of what it is. It's her perception. I believe it's across the board and that's a machismo thing. First you get the money, then you get the power, and you get the respect. People abuse of that. Humans that are in position of power abuse of that. I don't think it's a black thing. It's a thing.
So you're saying people with money and power cheat more?
No, I think men cheat, women cheat. It's not just men, not black women. It's people cheat. I've seen it left, I've seen it right. So
you don't think it has an influence?
It might be. What do you think about that?
Well, the facts are pretty clear. People with more money cheat way more. Men or women?
Men or women?
Men more. Men more than women.
Okay.
Men with more money cheat more than women with more money. If you're talking about just generally speaking, women at a younger age cheat more than men.
Okay.
But once you get older it's men who cheat more often. Obviously, it's not surprising.
So women cheat more younger, and then men cheat.
Yeah, so because obviously they're in their prime years. And so in their younger years, it's a lot more accessible. It's a lot easier with less risk. As you get older, you want to settle down. The prospect of a family becomes dimmer. You don't have as many suitors as you did.
So they
when you were
just cheat the opposite way.
Exactly. As men get into their prime, they have more options. They do whatever they want. Here's the thing. Infidelity is different for men and women. For men, infidelity is a matter of options. Generally speaking, as men have more options, their likelihood to cheat raises dramatically. And so that's why you see with successful men, men with money, power, influence, infidelity is far more common. And this is statistically backed. Women tend to cheat, at least within marriages and relationships, due to dissatisfaction, either within the bedroom or emotionally. So we cheat for different reasons. But you do see that women at younger ages, when the option is there and when they are more viable, do cheat more than men.
When they got more options.
They're just better at hiding it. So it doesn't seem like that perception, you know?
They got more options?
Yeah. Well, options. It is what it is. So we're speaking in generalities. I don't want people in the comments to be like, actually, I cheat well into my 30s. Like,
well, me.
we get it, okay? There's exceptions. I'm talking about the bell curve. It doesn't mean it's a blanket for everyone. Here's the thing with her comment. She's not wrong, but she's not entirely right either. When she says black men cheat a lot, you have to understand that's her reality because she's around black people. You know what I mean? It's like people that say, well, black people do a lot of crime against black people. White people do a lot of crimes against white people. Asians against Asians. You know what I mean? So that's why it's a matter of proximity. And so if you see infidelity around you, if you're only around black people, you're going to assume it's a more black people problem. When in reality, if you go to Latino countries, tell them.
Why me?
Well, you listen to bachata.
You don't listen to bachata?
I hate that shit.
Yo, bachata?
Dramatic ass music for no reason about infidelity. Everything. And I'm not gonna Epstein myself and listen.
Everything is it's just a thing. It's just like, hey, so yeah, you want to go out? I'm like, don't you have a boyfriend? Yeah.
Trust me, infidelity is not exclusive, but within North American context, to back her up, it is true that statistically speaking, black men do cheat more than the other races. I think Latinos are like a really close second.
I thought that black men didn't cheat.
Black boys cheat, not black men.
Oh, that's right. Shout out to Charlamagne the God.
Overall, I just think that when it comes to this discussion, basically what was her claim? Her claim was that we don't know how to form.
That we have a problem and we have to work on it. That's what she said.
I think everybody needs to work on their faithfulness. Because I'll be honest with you, if you go to Latin American countries, if you go to some parts of Europe, infidelity is just ingrained in the culture.
It's
more so than here. You would be shocked.
It's just a thing.
It's just a
thing.
So, you know, I think it's a mixture of things. I think it's a mixture of culture, biology.
It's a lot of things.
It's a mixture of culture.
Biology.
And a lot of different things. But, you know, I think when it comes to these discussions, all we can do is work on ourselves as individuals. Try to set a good example and try to not engage in the behavior that we think is negative.
Sadly.
So, yeah, pretty much all I got. Anything else you want to add about infidelity?
Nah, man, that's pretty much it.
Told you that study was going to mess you up.
Good.
That study,
biology.
Messed you up, right?
I didn't know it. Biology. Headshot this. Biology.
I'll be honest with you guys, like, people have been asking us why we haven't done a podcast before this.
Why? Why haven't we?
I just didn't want to. I feel like niggas talk too much.
That should be the name of the podcast.
Niggas talk too much?
Yeah, I like it.
No, it's like, you know
I
what I
can't
mean?
say
Like,
the
some
title.
people just be talking too much. And I'm just like, yo, I don't need to hear you this often. And I'm like, I never want to be one of them people that talks too much.
Like, I have another podcast in French, and we do it for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We was not into that 2-hour thing where people just talk about stuff. And we have precise subjects. So we talk about it like it's a podcast about sex, right? And we just, but we don't want to, we don't want to be there for 2 hours talking about it. 2 hours is, it's fun, but it's not everybody that can do it for 2 hours. It's not everybody that got the mojo, the stamina to go on for 2 hours and be interesting. And you're like, oh, yeah, I like every bits of it. So I get it.
Well, the downside to that though is like in 30 minutes you just start to really get in a groove before things really pick up, right?
Yup.
So it's always finding like that sweet spot. Because I know like when we're hanging out as friends, like just generally speaking, and we're having conversations, it takes about an hour before we get into like the really juicy stuff. Sometimes, you know.
The yum.
Yeah. Because then you're in a flow and everything is just moving super smoothly. So I don't know if 30 minutes is the right amount, or like 2 hours, but I feel like that's me though personally. I know I had to come to terms with the fact that I'm not the general public. And
You're definitely not.
And so what I think is like, yo, y'all niggas talk too much. For them is like, please talk some more. You know what I'm saying? Like even us doing 2 YouTube videos a week, sometimes I'm like, God damn, it's a lot to stick with. But then people are like, 1 every day.
One more. I'm like, yo, calm down.
And I'm trying to curb my internet usage and like my online media stuff. And so for me, I'm like, damn, do I want to contribute to everyone? But everyone has their own needs and desires. Just because I want to curb mine doesn't mean other people want to curb theirs.
No, you can't father everybody.
No.
They have to do their own choices. So if they want more, let them have more, you know?
Yeah.
Let them eat cake.
Flip side to that though is like if you know it's relatively unhealthy, then it's like, because by your logic, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're not going to father them. You could also just deal drugs and be like, yeah, I'm not their dad. It's their responsibility. You know what I'm saying?
It's not the same thing.
Obviously, I went to an extreme example, but it is in that same spectrum because there's a lot of studies to back up.
It's not the same thing at all, bro.
There's a lot of studies to back up the fact that in moderation, social media is fine, but most people use it in excess, and it does lead to a lot of problems.
I get that.
Yes, so then the same thing for a lot of drugs. Drugs in moderation, a lot of them are fine. In excess, they become
a little bit of heroin here and there. It's always good, you know, a little bit, you know.
Hey, if you're having surgery, you need a little bit of heroin.
That is 100%.
Hey, a Friday meth, you know what I mean? A little bit of meth.
Meth Fridays?
Meth Fridays.
Some people do meatless Fridays. Some people do teethless Fridays. You know what I mean?
One for the gums.
That's a dope sound